9440.
4405.
944405.
All right, we are back for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help us make Calhoun County a better and safer place by finding some bad guys and locking them up. You help us find them, we'll handle the locking up part. I'm Chris Wright, your host, along with Lindy from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. Good to see you, Lindy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, and we appreciate you being here. And so real quick, let's talk about what you do at the Sheriff's Office, because people don't realize how big this is and how many things have to get done.
I'm a lieutenant at the Sheriff's Office. I'm lieutenant over patrol supervision, investigation supervision, dispatch supervision, internal affairs. I'm commander over our emergency service team.
That's a lot to do.
It's a lot to do.
And talking about the patrols, that's a lot of miles
Yes.
that you're supervising.
Yes.
How many miles a year or per month, or do you have that broken down?
I don't have the stats with me, but we've got 4 different shifts covering the districts. So it's on average 5-6 deputies per shift. So
More than 2 tanks of gas a year.
oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Quite a bit of miles traveled. And we actually get to reduce those miles significantly with your help on this show. That's one of the reasons I'm bringing that up, is because one of the reasons that we have the people in the lineup that we do is because we just, it may be that with investigative techniques, the Sheriff's Office employees could find these people.
Yes, and
But-
have found them.
And have found them. But if somebody else can let us know, hey, this is where they are now, sometimes they're just they're not at the address that you've got listed and stuff. It just really helps eliminate a lot of that footwork and saves the taxpayers a lot of money.
Yes.
So we appreciate your help, and this week you helped us catch a couple more here. So our count is up to 3,854 people arrested with your help from those tips. So please keep on calling those in and take a few headaches away from Lindy. You'd appreciate that, wouldn't you?
I appreciate that a lot.
And if you're in this lineup, don't tell somebody, hey, don't call it in. They won't get me if you don't. No, we're going to get you. The question is, are we going to get you as quickly as we can and as efficiently as we can in the best interests of the taxpayers and the people of Calhoun County? So we're going to get to work doing that here in just a few minutes. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead,
drug addict,
alcoholic, meth freak,
a wretch,
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
I have my own lawn care service. One day I had some blades that was bent. I was probably here for 5 minutes and they had me back on the road going.
It helps me make more money simply because it's a more dependable machine. And side-by-side comparisons, people want to say they're better, but I've driven them and Toro is the best.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston Stroud with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. Family and togetherness are key themes for the holidays. That can make the holidays awfully difficult for people who are grieving the loss of a loved one. If the grief is fresh, holiday cheer can seem like an insult. Celebrations may underscore how alone people feel, and although grief is nearly universal, it expresses itself in many different ways and sometimes resembles major depression. Frequent crying spells, depressed moods, sleep disturbances, and loss of appetite are common during the bereavement process. Grief is not a tidy, orderly process, and there's no right way to grieve. Every person and every family does it differently. Here are the strategies that may help you or someone you know who is grieving to cope with the holidays. Number 1, start a new tradition. During a holiday dinner, place a lighted candle on the dinner table, leave an empty chair, or say a few words of remembrance. Number 2, change the celebration. Go out to dinner instead of planning an elaborate meal at home, or schedule a trip with friends. Number 3, express your needs. People who are grieving may find it hard to participate in all the festivities or may need to let go of unsatisfying traditions. It's all right to tell people you just aren't up to it right now or to change the plans that you've made. Number 4, help someone else. It may also help to volunteer through a charitable or religious organization. Make a donation to a favorite cause in memory of the person who died. But remember, give yourself time. The grieving process doesn't neatly conclude at the 6-month or 1-year mark. Depending on the strength of the bond that was broken, grief can be lifelong. Nevertheless, grief does usually soften and change over time, and with time, the holidays will become easier to handle. For more information on family issues, please contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
All right, let's take a look at this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We start off with Trayvontarius Tucker of Anniston, wanted on a probation violation for first-degree possession of marijuana. Tyree Robinson of Talladega, wanted for failure to appear for first-degree possession of a forged instrument. Jacob Price of Childersburg, wanted for third-degree theft of property. Troy Hayden of Savannah, Georgia, wanted for failure to appear for passing multiple bad checks. Trevor Sanders of Weaver, wanted for receiving stolen property, attempting to elude, and reckless endangerment. Jason Clark of Piedmont, wanted for failure to appear for unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance. And Bradley Intricate of Heflin, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a forged instrument. We've got more bad guys we'll talk about here in just a few minutes, but if you recognize somebody here and know where they can be found, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. The number is 256-238-1414. And we will have more bad guys for you here in just a few minutes, but right now we're going to be joined by somebody that you see every week here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Katina Houston Stroud is joining us from Family Links. You always have the family parenting tips for us. We appreciate those.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I say this every time I'm able to talk to you about the parenting tips. They not only help people who watch them, but they also are good for me and my husband as well. So, you know, it's no hypocrisy. Like, every family has their own issues, and some of the tips have something to do with what's going on in our own homes.
Some of those tips, we never would have heard them
right.
if there hadn't been a problem at
Had my
home.
child not been the reason for the tip. Right.
And that's the important thing with parenting is you can't go in thinking that you're going to have everything perfect.
No.
But you just know that you're going to make an effort.
Absolutely.
And keep trying and not let your own pride get in the way of finding better ways to help your child.
Right.
Because even though, you know, we may be the family that God said, okay, this is where this child needs to be, that doesn't mean that He wants you to do it all by yourself, does it?
No, and we're not given, parents sometimes are embarrassed about having to receive services for parenting. And, you know, especially in my line of work, I'm a counselor, so you would think as a counselor or a parent educator, we don't have these issues in our home, and that's, you know, very far from the truth. We're not given a handbook when we get our kids, and so we're doing the best we can, and we're tweaking things as we go a lot of times, and so you have to find what works.
When you drive by a gardener's house, you'll oftentimes see weeds in their front yard.
Yeah,
you know, everybody.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what you do for a living, you're still going to have your own issues at home. There's no ideal situation. And one of the things that comes up that messes up where we think we're cruising along, we've got everything ideal, sometimes things will pop up, and all of a sudden we realize we didn't have it as good as we thought we had, and drugs is a big part of that, especially with families. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk with you today on the show, is because you're dealing with these kids in the adolescent drug court. So if you could give us an update on how that's going and how it's helping families.
Well, studies show regarding substance abuse that one of our biggest problems, or a huge epidemic, is the increase in adolescents who are using substances. And so in order to combat that, or to try to do our part in making sure that that's not a statistic that continues to rise in Calhoun County, we have Calhoun County Drug Court. The mission of Calhoun County Drug Court is to reduce the use of substances by our adolescents in this county, as well as to teach them the skills to better cope with life, and to not turn to drugs, and to decrease the possibility of them later becoming addicts or being incarcerated.
One thing that I foresee happening here is we already have an attitude amongst a lot of kids and adults that marijuana really isn't a problem. Okay,
This is the way we call it.
And now we've just had more states that have legalized marijuana, and a lot of people are going to look at that and say, you know what, people in California can do this without a problem. It's perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Why is that a problem?
Well, for one, and we tell the kids this in drug court, because they'll come in with the mentality that it's just marijuana. They say that all the time. It's just marijuana, Miss Tina. And their parents say it sometimes too when we're doing the assessments. I'm not upset because it's just marijuana. And what they fail to realize, we've gone to trainings, and it's been documented that the medical or medicinal marijuana that's being allowed in those other states is not the marijuana that our kids are receiving on the streets. They don't know what they're getting on the streets. And even if they're growing it themselves, what they fail to realize is that marijuana is in fact a gateway drug. I have worked with substance abusers for many years, and our adult substance abusers, 9 out of 10 started before the age of 18 with just marijuana, which progressed to another substance, which progressed to a higher level substance. And so they don't realize that it does open up the door for other substances.
And a lot of times it's not necessarily the substance itself that's opening that door, it's the behavior.
Absolutely.
You have broken a law here.
Yes.
And that just makes it a little bit easier to go and break that next one and say, okay, now we've got to hide that.
Yes.
Because even though we don't think that there's anything wrong with it, we know it's against the law. And now somebody's got something they can hold against us and get us to do this. Or just so many ways that it messes with your life, doesn't it, Lindy?
Oh, yes. What do you see as far as being in the juvenile system as being the drug of choice as far as the rehab?
It is typically marijuana. But the majority of the kids that I complete the assessments with, because in order to come into drug court, they have to complete a drug and alcohol assessment. It's the first part of the drug court system or policy. And the majority of our adolescents, their drug of choice is marijuana or alcohol. We do see a lot of use of spice, but we rarely see them typically start out at crystal meth or cocaine or something. Right. It's always marijuana as the initial drug of choice. And so I'd say out of the 18 kids we have in drug court currently, 15 of those are only marijuana users. And so we're getting them to understand the importance of now making better decisions, because like Chris said, it just makes it easier to try something else. It makes, what it does is create a standard that marijuana may be a drug, but it's not a drug. So let's try something else. And when they are around other people who use marijuana, or they are in contact with someone that they're buying their marijuana from, the purpose of a drug dealer is to get you to spend money. So they give you marijuana, but after a while they're going to ask you to try something else. And we try to get the kids to understand that you are putting yourself in a position to move on to something else. And there are also the studies that they completely forget about, that marijuana, they say there are no side effects, there are no withdrawals, and that part is true as far as there's no withdrawal chemically in your body from using marijuana, but there are tons of side effects. It affects your mental health. We have a lot of kids who are presenting with depression and anxiety, and it is very much related to their use of marijuana.
All right, we need to talk more about this. We need to take a break first. We will be back with the second half of this week's lineup and more about adolescent drug court when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead.
Drug addict.
Alcoholic.
Meth freak.
A wretch.
Like me.
I once was.
Homeless.
Broken. Sad.
Just lost.
but now I am
sober.
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
All right, here we go with the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Christopher Reed of Alexandria, wanted for failure to appear for second-degree possession of marijuana. Patricia Swain of Childersburg, wanted for probation violation for obstructing justice using a false ID. Albert Weems of Trussville, wanted for theft of property first degree, theft by deception. Sarah Hopkins of Anniston, wanted for failure to appear for obstructing justice using false ID. Jerry Martin of Weaver, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And Paul Clay of Talladega, wanted for harassing communications. Again, if you have any information about these individuals, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. No need to tell them who you are. They'll assign a phone number or a specific number for you so that you can find out if you've got a reward. And the phone number to call is 256-238-1414. All right, we'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week coming up in just a few minutes. But right now we're talking with Katina about adolescent drug court, and we've talked a little bit about marijuana being the biggest issue that you're seeing in there, not necessarily the largest, but the most common. What is it actually like for somebody, a kid that has been told by the court, okay, we're going to give you this drug court option? What is that kid looking at?
The initial part of the process as far as coming into drug court, they have to complete a drug and alcohol assessment. So any adolescent that gets into any legal trouble in Calhoun County, whether it's they find the substance on them at school or in their car, or there's a crime that's associated with drugs or alcohol, they are referred to Family Links to complete a drug and alcohol assessment. That's the initial process. Once the court does what we do is I take the assessment to the drug court before the drug court team, which is our Judge Phillips, a representative from juvenile court, a representative from Bradford Health Services, and then myself and another counselor, Alita Glass, and we staff it, as well as Assistant DA Randy Moeller. We staff that assessment, and when we determine that that child is eligible for drug court, they come into drug court. That process includes weekly counseling sessions. They have to come before the judge every Tuesday to report their progress or lack of progress. If they are a participant in drug court, they are under curfew. They have to receive a color, and they have to do random drug screens. They also...
You say color, what's the color?
I'm sorry. The court gives everyone who's in drug court a particular color, and that color, they're on color code, and they have to contact the drug court, call the drug court every day to find out what color is being called, and then they come in for their random drug screen.
Okay.
So they have until the close of business to do that, and if they don't show up that day and their color has been called, that's an automatic failed drug screen, unless there is an emergency and they can contact someone to let them know. They also have to make passing grades or work towards a GED. So the program, whether it seems to be a punitive program, of course, because they're in trouble and that's why they're there, but we are all about rewarding the kids and changing their minds about being on substances. And so there are parts of it that are helping them, you know, once they're a part of drug court.
And it's an opportunity to keep this kid out of detention.
Absolutely.
While making some positive steps themselves. And I know you see this, Lindy, when you take personal action towards your problem, that means so much more than just somebody punishing you over it.
Right. How long is the drug court?
Once you are admitted into drug court or you're a participant in drug court, it's a year-long program. Now, they have different phases or levels. So after the first 2 months, they progress to another level, and they're rewarded for that. And in order to progress in your levels, you have to pass all of your drug screens, participate in your counseling, make sure you're making curfew, not getting any trouble, and once you progress, you receive rewards and incentives for that. And their parents are also a part of drug court. Their parents have to participate in the first 4 weeks of their drug court participation, which is the group counseling part, because we have a lot of parents who are in denial regarding their children and their substance use. But it is very much an accountability program. I heard you guys talking about that earlier, because once you're in the drug court system, you know you can't fail your drug screen, you know you can't stay out late, you know you can't get in trouble or you're going to be locked up. And so it holds you accountable to your own behavior. And I tell them all the time, if you can maintain in this program for a year staying drug free, there's no reason why you have to go back to doing drugs after this year.
Why, and I know there are lots of different reasons, but I'm sure you see some patterns. Why are kids in Calhoun County, Alabama in 2016 choosing to do drugs?
I do think that peer pressure and the culture that we're in right now plays a big part in it. Not that drugs weren't around when we were younger, because they were, but social media, the music that we listen to or that they listen to, and what's on television makes the use of substances and drinking much more attractive than it was when we were younger. And they are, a lot of the kids that come in and complete their drug and alcohol assessment with me will tell me, I really was trying it because my friends were trying it. And they're trying it at a much younger age. Our target age now for one of our programs, the Link ID program, is the 6th grade. Some of our teachers have asked us to lower it to the 5th grade. They are exposed to it on television and in their music, and you know, because their siblings, their older siblings are using. And so there's a much more acceptable attitude about smoking marijuana and doing drugs.
I can't imagine in the 5th or 6th grade where I would have gotten access to illegal drugs.
Right.
But it happens today.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
All right. So if somebody needs to get in touch with you, obviously drug court is something that's the court's going to be saying this, but if somebody says, you know what, I think we may need to address this as in our household, Family Links can help, how can they contact you?
They can still contact us. Our phone number is 256-820-5911, and we will connect them. Jeff Hyatt is the drug court coordinator, but we've had several people who call with drug issues with their children, and we connect them with Jeff Hyatt through juvenile court. And like I said earlier, it's usually a child that's gotten into some legal trouble, but there are other circumstances that would allow a child to be in drug court.
All right. Well, we appreciate that information. Wish we had time for more. We do need to take a break now. We will be back with our Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card, Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have my own lawn care service. One day I had some blades that was bent. I was probably here for 5 minutes, and they had me back on the road going.
It helps me make more money simply because it's a more dependable machine. In side-by-side comparisons, people want to say they're better, but I've driven them, and Toro is the best.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
All right, and it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of our show. It's not a very long segment this week. We're still working on this burglary from the 31st of January, actually, this year. A burglary, first degree, occurred at a residence on Hollingsworth Road in Jacksonville. The suspects were a black male and a white male, and they stole a large sum of money. If you have any information about this crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, Lindy, it's time for our crazy criminal of the week. I know that you have seen plenty of people that say we're driving intoxicated, and they had an excuse, didn't they?
Oh, of course. I've only had a couple.
They know they're driving intoxicated, but still, it's not their fault, right?
No, never, never.
We've got one particular individual. We've got a mugshot here to show you of this lady from Minnesota. Her name is Elizabeth Lundberg, and she was stopped. Actually, she was stopped by traffic. She was stopped by the car that she hit in front of her and bumped into the car in front of them. So 3-car accident that's her fault, except it's not her fault, even though she was driving 4 times the legal limit. They tested her 4 times. But she said, "Your officer, it's not my fault." She said, "I'm upset over the outcome of the election, and you should let me go home." It's Donald Trump's fault.
It is.
Now, do you want to take a guess as to whether or not they accepted that excuse?
I want to say no.
No. Unlike the colleges that are letting kids miss a day of class because they were upset about the election and other situations like that, the police officers are not going to let you go for a crime like driving under the influence simply because you're upset about the results of the election.
No,
not going to happen. All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week. We appreciate you tuning in. If you missed part of the show, you can catch it in its entirety on the TV24 website at tv24.tv. And also you can see some videos of the lineup on the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.